We felt that it would work, you know. We were, now you never know. You have to go ahead and do it, you know, and try it and see. But we were fairly confident that it would work once singers kind of found out about it and that it was what singers wanted. But we weren't really in any doubt that singers like to meet each other, you know. And we also felt that there were a lot of singers that we weren't sure about this either. There were loads of people that we wouldn't have known, you know. There were loads of people we got to know through the Góilín. But we also felt that there were a lot of singers out there who mightn't have been heard at all at the time, you know, that unless you were a fairly established singer with a decent repertoire, you probably wouldn't, you might not be asked to sing, you know, and understandably at the other clubs. Whereas Góilín, I think what we tried to do was to be more open and to welcome new singers. And I think in very early on as well, I think people felt that they could sing their own songs. You know, people who maybe had already started writing a little bit or who started to write through the exposure of singing in the Góilín Club. So we would welcome the songwriting and we would welcome the recitation and the poetry as well. There was an element of that from the very beginning. So there was a nice mix there. I think what you do need is a certain number to, you know, you can need a tipping point where there's a core group, not maybe necessarily the same people every week, but that you have a core group to work with rather than going around a very small number. And I think as we developed in Thomas House, that happened. It's hard to put your finger on when exactly it happened, but we began to stop worrying whether, you know, there would be enough people. Like I remember coming back in a really bad winter in January. It was probably January in 1980, and you know, we had terribly bad weather, and I came back from being in Kerry actually on the Christmas break, and feeling that, you know, I came and there was nobody, you know, initially, but people did turn up, you know. You had that feeling that maybe it's not going to work, you know, but it did. Once I think over time and people discovering it and people knowing about it, I think then that people wanted to come back, and generally they did. And the feedback was very, very good, very positive. You know, people like Frank Bryson, who was a wonderful singer, now no longer with us. I remember him saying to me, you know, quite early on in Thomas House, this is the best singing club bar none, you know. And it was great to get that feedback. Not that we were, you know, kind of terribly looking for praise or anything like that, but you do need feedback. You do need to know that you're doing something that the singers, because it was for them, you know, that they're enjoying themselves and they want to be there, you know. There was great listening, of course. There was tremendous listening from them, as there were in loads of other clubs. But I think the country singers that would come maybe as guests or would be in Dublin just to drop in, they would mention that the attention and the listening was phenomenal, you know, which maybe you didn't get at informal sessions in pubs and stuff. So there was great order for the singing from day one.